As documented over the past 20 years by both my Bureau's International Child Labor Report and the Department of State's Trafficking in Persons Report, adults and children are forced to work in virtually every agricultural sector across the globe. Not only is agriculture considered by the International Labor Organization to be one of the most hazardous employment sectors, but many agricultural workers are vulnerable to human trafficking due to their exclusion from coverage by local labor laws, pressure on growers to reduce costs, insufficient monitoring and audits of labor policies, and lack of government oversight.
Since the 1990s, the Coalition of Immokalee Workers, the first U.S. organization to be honored by the State Department's Office to Combat Trafficking in Persons, has uncovered and worked on many multi-state investigations of labor traffickers, leading to successful prosecutions. That work continues today. However, it is necessary only outside the Fair Food Program. That is true because the Fair Food Program has transformed conditions once known to federal prosecutors as ground zero for modern-day slavery into what is widely recognized as the best work environment in U.S. agriculture. And that success is based on the coalition's agreements with major food retailers at the top of the food supply chain. Under those agreements, now 14 of the country's largest supermarkets, fast food chains, and food services provide purchasing preference to growers certified by the Fair Food Program, and they cut off purchases from any grower suspended for noncompliance. Buyers also pay a premium, which workers receive as a bonus in their paychecks. In return, participating buyers have gained tremendous transparency and risk prevention in their supply chains. Motivated by that purchasing power, growers representing 90% of Florida tomato production, as well as growing operations with multiple crops in 7 additional states, including Georgia, South Carolina, and up to New Jersey, have joined the Fair Food Program with another state on the runway as we speak. Fair Food Program growers have become employers of choice and remain free of lawsuits and prosecutions. They receive certification of ethical labor practices and the purchasing preference from participating buyers.
Thank you, Judge Laura Safer Espinosa, for all that you bring to the table. It certainly seems like the Fair Food Program is something that every grower and food retailer should be a part of. The program's success is absolutely undeniable. It's been known for years how successful it is. At the Wage and Hour Division, we have our folks that conduct these investigations, and as much as we try to have folks open up to us, it is a little bit difficult. And I think Judge Safer Espinosa kind of hit the nail on the head, which has to do with retaliation, right? I mean, I think that's one of the biggest obstacles is for folks anyway, is to kind of shed that idea that they will experience some retaliation if they in fact speak to our investigators or any investigator from any agency. And it is unfortunate. I wish there were much better mechanisms and methods by which we could, strong word, but guarantee to a worker that there will be no retaliation. That really is very difficult to do, at least outside of something like the Fair Food Program. Of course, it's pretty difficult. Inside the Fair Food Program, I guess that is a lot easier. But outside the Fair Food Program, we certainly have our issues in trying to prevent retaliation against these workers.
In terms of constructively, what we can do to collaborate, I think, our one thing we wanted to bring forward, one suggestion is it's really important for the entire supply chain to light up when a trafficking case is discovered. And that information recruits and empowers organizations like ours who do consumer education and mobilization to harness the highest levels of the market to make it less likely to occur in that channel again. And for example, the WR, the withhold release order that was mentioned earlier, which was critical, it identified 2 wholesalers involved in buying and selling the tomatoes picked by workers who were in forced labor in Mexico, but not any of the massive grocery and restaurant chains that brought produce from those wholesalers was identified. Beyond so broadly, the information wasn't really actionable. And it has been our experience that the only way to ultimately get ahead of trafficking is by making it no longer profitable, by ensuring there are market consequences from the next rung up in the supply chain when we find it, so that when the actors responsible for trafficking are contemplating their next move, their next crime, they consider they're going to lose their livelihood if they're caught, and more. As whether you're a consumer or someone who makes, buys for a large chain or a restaurant or a supermarket, we all have choices to make as consumers. And I hope that, the choices of the people that are here today will be for a program that eliminates and cuts these problems out right at the root, like the Fair Food Program.